Dr. Naresh Chawla, I would like to come to you first. If you could give us, like the Delhi Chief Minister just briefed the media on the COVID situation in the national capital, talking about the possible increase in the beds and the oxygen supply, and also requesting the centre to increase the health infrastructure. You've been fighting on the ground. You've watched this COVID situation very closely. If you could give us a lowdown on how the battle is right now, the situation in Delhi right now, and how our health workers are battling this crisis.
Sanika, the matter of fact is the ground reality is that, frankly speaking, we are watching this situation for last 1.25 months now, and the cases have been steadily rising. Except, till last evening, there was something more than 17.5 thousand. And as I see the ground situation in Delhi, all the private hospitals and government hospitals, they are full, no doubt. And we are coming across shortage of practically oxygen, also the essential drug remdesivir also, and no doubt the government is doing its best, and the capacity to augment the bed available obviously in some hotels and in banquets is being done. But as I see the ground situation, the people are coming across lots of hardships as we know it. No doubt they must be trying their best, but the number of cases as they are rising, so we have to match the supply with the demand on a very dynamic basis and on an early basis. No doubt, the Deputy CM has become the nodal officer for controlling every such thing. Is a very, very good stuff, because we have to have a command structure who monitors everything. Delhi is a very important city, and the situation has gone bad in a couple of days. And obviously, this weekend lockdown also will help, but the good effect of lockdown will not come immediately. It will take a couple of days or even a few weeks to come. So in my opinion, as far as the Delhi goes, everything is being done in a commendable manner, but the virus, the corona, has to be beaten, and that may not be easy, because last few weeks the people have not been observing the corona appropriate behavior. And even today also, apart from these 2 days of Saturday and Sunday, what happens on Monday again onwards, we do not know. So the government has to take more stiff measures in coming weeks if we have to succeed in controlling this COVID-19.
Yes, Dr. Naresh Chawla, I would like to take my next question to Dr. Swati Maheshwari. Dr. Maheshwari, we've been talking about this new variant in India, about the double mutant variant, because a couple of months back we had the UK variant that we were all talking about. Then we spoke about the South African variant, Brazil variant. Now there is a new double mutant variant that has been in fact noticed in some of the samples that have been recorded by the Health Ministry. If you could throw light on what this new double mutant variant is, the symptoms that patients with this particular variant, what are the symptoms in patients, and how fast, how potent and how transmissible is this variant of COVID?
See, definitely, Sanika, what happens with viruses and what we have seen over the years and decades is that the virus, in order to survive better and to, outsmart the human population, it kind of mutates and it makes itself more deadly. And that's what this virus has been doing continuously, be it the Brazilian variant, the UK variant, the South African variant, or the variant here in India. So what happens is, as soon as the virus gets a chance to mutate in people who don't have good immunity, it tries to change itself, it tries to alter itself, and that's what we are seeing now. Especially if you look at the ICMR data, then they say that right now in India there are close to 771 variants of coronavirus which are circulating. In Maharashtra itself has 62 variants of coronavirus. Now, some of these variants are not too much of a concern because the mutation is not too big or not something that we should be worried about. But some of these variants have significant mutations which have made them much more transmissible. If you look at the UK variant, it became 70% more transmissible. Also, this sometimes become more lethal as well. Similarly, with the UK variant, it's considered to be 30% more lethal than than the normal coronavirus. Now, if we look at the Indian double mutant, what has happened with the double mutant is it has mutated at the spike protein, which has made it easy for it to travel inside the human body, easy to attach to a human body, and that's why the transmissibility has gone up very high. We are seeing cases, earlier we used to see 70, 80,000 cases in 75 days. That was in the first peak. Now we are seeing cases in 20 days. So it is 3 times more transmissible than the first coronavirus that we were dealing with. Second, they have learned how to evade human immune mechanisms. So whatever neutralizing mechanisms that we are using, be it our medicines, be it our vaccines, be it the human normal immune response, these vaccines have been able to outsmart us. They have been able to evade themselves from these, and that's why we are seeing that patients sometimes are deteriorating very fast. Or what you are seeing is that the pneumonia rate has gone up in people. That's why we need to be really, really very cautious with these. And as you can see that we are in precarious times right now, it is a national emergency that we are going through, and sooner the governments realize this, the better, because like you're seeing in Delhi, like you're seeing in Mumbai, I'm sure we'll see such similar picture in other states to follow, because we
Yes.
have people sitting there in Qom and other places, and they'll be returning back to their homes. You have seen migrants going back to their places because they can already see that a lockdown might come in the coming days. So, there's a lot of movement happening right now across India, and that's what causing spread of infection from one state to another, from one district
Yes.
to another. So right now what we really need to do is we need to curtail the movement as much as we can, at least from one state to another state, and take such small steps like weekend lockdowns, curfews, and also that as much as we can restrict. But the more important thing that we need to do, and that's what Arvind Kejriwal also right now stressed upon, is to improve our healthcare structure, because every third or fourth family that we are looking at is running around for hospitals, is calling endlessly as many contacts as they can if somebody can find a bed for them. So the ground reality, as Dr. Chawla also very rightly pointed out, are very different from what we are being told, what these press conferences are saying, because people are running helter and skelter. They are completely disappointed with the systems, because when a loved one of yours is suffering and you can't, and you feel so helpless at that time, that despite all the contacts that you have, despite all the money that you have, and all the means and everything that you have, you're not able to procure a bed from them. And this is what I'm saying about people who have good means. Imagine about the people who don't have any means. That common man, he's really suffering right now, because neither are you getting medicines when you're prescribing them during the home quarantine, because most of the supplies are out of stock. So people call back, tell you that we can't find the medicines that you're prescribing. Another thing is, yes, oxygen deficiency, and the major medicines that we know of are under shortage. So the government really needs to work up very fast on these things and procure them, because our main concern is that we don't want the death rate to go up. And the
Yes.
moment our healthcare system is overburdened like this, the biggest problem that comes in is the death rate starts rising, because we are not able to save people we would have under normal circumstances easily saved. So the problem here is that the healthcare structure right now needs to go into an emergency war footing mode, so that as much as we can create these verticals for the people to go and to see. And secondly, I think we really need to now educate people as to who needs to stay at home and who needs to rush to the hospital.
Yes.
Because what is happening is, as soon as the COVID report is in people's hand, they suddenly panic and they feel that they need to get a hospital, and they start calling people here and there, we need a hospital, whereas they are good candidates for getting home treatment. So we really need to educate people as to who can stay at home, who can get treatment at home, so that they don't press the panic button and run here and there for the hospital or the beds. In fact, there are lots and lots of people whom we can treat at home, so they need to get in touch with the doctor, utilize the telemedicine facility that we have today. And for that, you just need your WhatsApp video calls, or you need simple video calls from your mobiles to make to your doctors, who can easily understand your situation and guide you as to what treatment you need to follow and what are the danger signs when you should be really worried and look about for a hospital bed. So even if we are able to curtail and cut down on this panic situation, I think we'll be able to handle better, because then there would not be a load on the hospitals for people who unnecessarily are going there and piling up, who actually don't require hospital treatment. So I think the government should really look at this end also and educate people as to who can stay at home and who cannot, and can we really give oxygen at certain centers where people who actually don't require the ICU, who don't require too much of care, but they definitely require oxygen. How can we, give them oxygen and relieve them from their sufferings during the initial few days? And then if if needed, we can escalate them and take them to the ICUs or to a better facilities. If needed, we can take them or transfer them there. So I think
Yes.
we need to create an intermediary kind of a place where people can get treatment who are in between the ICU and in between the home care. So something like that is very essential. So right now, I think all the governments should concentrate on curtailing down all the other crowd gathering activities that are happening around across India, and secondly, concentrate on really, building up our health infrastructure